We're back. The Rookie Season 7 Episode 10 Chaos Agent is a transitional episode. However, this Bridge 1 proves pivotal for Seth and his time on the program as it explores the consequences of what happened with James from Nyla's point of view. Ready? Despite being a transitional episode, the Rookie Season 7 Episode 10 Chaos Agent is key for Seth's future. Lucy's suspicions about his cancer increase 1,000-fold when she discovers he's changed doctors. And the same thing happens to us. It's strange to change doctors after overcoming cancer. Ultimately, that doctor is with you every step of the way through one of the most challenging times of your life. It's only logical that if the cancer returns, you'll trust the same person who helped you in the first place. However, although strange, Seth's change of doctor doesn't necessarily mean anything. But the fact that his new doctor is one with a bad reputation is too suspicious to ignore. If you're going to change doctors, the most natural thing would be to do so with someone who could be considered better. So all of this almost confirms to Lucy, and us, that Seth is lying. But she doesn't know what to do. What if he's telling the truth? In the end, there's only one way to find out: test him. And Lucy was right to come clean with Gray about all of this. He had to know what was going on and why being so invasive about Seth's health was the only way to know exactly what was happening. So, in the Rookie Season 7 Episode 10 Chaos Agent, Seth has to make a decision. And that seals his fate. We can understand Seth being offended. It could be a normal reaction for someone who's telling the truth but realizes no one trusts him. The problem is that he seems to be getting defensive rather than hurt by the lack of trust, and then ends up begging to not be kicked off the program. However, at no point does Seth agree to take the blood test, even though Gray made it clear that if he didn't, he was out. If he had nothing to hide, he would have agreed, and then he would have quit because he couldn't work with people who don't trust him. Seth's outright refusal in the Rookie Season 7 Episode 10 Chaos Agent to take the test only proves that Lucy was right not to trust him. But, while we don't know why, we get the feeling that this whole Seth thing isn't over yet. Nyla is another person who isn't having a good time in the Rookie Season 7 Episode 10 Chaos Agent. She is taking over as James' caretaker when he's released from the hospital, but there's a splinter between them. Contrary to what it might seem, it's not because of the kiss. Nyla understood that it was a one-sided thing on Kyle's part. However, she found out that James brought a criminal to their home behind her back, and she can't help but be angry with him. Nyla feels that James doesn't respect or understand how important her job is to her and the consequences such things can have for her. And what hurts Nyla the most is that James did it behind her back and didn't even able to consult her about it. That anger toward James is compounded by the fear of losing him that she still hasn't been able to get out of her system. Nyla truly thought that was the end. And, on top of everything, she had to face an investigation as the prime suspect in everything that had happened. So yeah, Nyla has a lot on her plate in the Rookie Season 7 Episode 10 Chaos Agent, and that's why she's trying to stay busy. She just wants to keep all the emotions she'd been bottling up from catching up with her. But you can't run away from what you feel. In the end, when she's left with nothing to keep her mind occupied and her hands busy, her emotions end up taking over. And we're glad Nyla let them. Bottling up her emotions isn't going to get her anywhere good. Sometimes we just need to allow ourselves to feel without restrictions.